We are now just a few weeks away from the start of a new school year, and you don't want your young students squinting this year. Dr. Erin Barrett with Vivid Vision Care is here to talk about the importance of back-to-school exams. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
We're all about back to school right now. I feel like that's where families are. You talk about the school supplies, back-to-school physicals.
Exactly.
Back-to-school eye exams, just as important.
Just as important. So when we think about learning in school, 80% of it is visual. So if the eyes are struggling, the kids could potentially struggle in school. Each year, the visual demands get harder and harder. So the print gets smaller, they're doing more tasks, they're spending more time on the computer and devices, so there's more chance for them to struggle later on. So it's always a good habit to be in every year. Coming in, you know, you want to get an annual eye exam anyways, so back to school is a great time to get that done.
Can you talk a little bit more about, you'd mentioned in the break to me that there are some screens that they do in schools, but it's not the same as what you are going to have an actual doctor do.
Exactly. It's not a replacement for an exam. Screenings are meant to catch major problems, and they do a great job of that, but sometimes smaller problems can slip through, and if a child has 20/30 vision and they have some astigmatism, they may not get flagged at those screenings, and the parents may not get told that they, you know, struggled a little bit, but they might be getting regular headaches, and they might just not be comprehending what they're reading at school. So it's always a good habit to be in. Still keep up with those annual exams, and at our clinic we'll do like a vision checkup kind of halfway through the school year, or if they're starting to notice changes and it's been a few months since they were in, just because the eyes don't really follow when the insurance is going to renew.
Right.
So if they're noticing changes, we can do just a really quick check and make sure that the vision is still spot on.
And you're very kid-friendly over there as well.
We try to be, yeah. We don't have the air puff test. I know that scares a lot of people, and we have the option to do some photos of the eyes instead of doing that dilation for most kids. Sometimes we still have to do those dilation drops.
And you touched on this, but things can change in a couple of months with your eyesight. It's not just every year sometimes.
Exactly.
And if you go every 4 years, that's why you need to go every year.
Yep. Yep. Sometimes it changes really gradually, and kids won't really know to speak up to say that something has changed or that they're struggling. Usually those big changes, it'll be a little bit more noticeable, but it's almost like a growth spurt. Your body can all of a sudden grow. The same thing with the eyes, the vision can all of a sudden change, and that might be just a few months after your annual exam that the insurance already paid for. So we can always do just a quick checkup in between those annual visits to see where they're at.
And I know teachers are great at this, but are there any signs or symptoms, you mentioned headaches, that parents could be watching out for, that maybe their children's eyes have changed?
Yeah, so squinting, if they're reading with their kids and watching, you know, are they using their finger to point along? Are they losing their place? Are they skipping words? Sometimes those are signs. Otherwise, like covering an eye or maybe tilting their head or getting really far or really close. Those are some other indicators that the vision might be struggling.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, where are you located, and how can people get a hold of you to make that appointment for a back to school?
We're located on the corner of 45th and 32nd Avenue in South Fargo, inside the Aspire Optical, and you can reach us by phone at 701-212-1553, or we do have online scheduling, which has been really great. So that's just at vividvisioncare.com.
You always have time to book it online. I like that option as well.
Right.
We're all so busy. Dr. Erin Barrett, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, stay with us. Coming up next, this is another important one. We're talking about aging and how we can reverse or turn back the clock. Stay with us.